Good evening. It is rookies time. It's oNiD Racing, home of the simstuff.com Rookies Championship. This is the first series of the Rookies Championship. Something a bit different here at oNiD. BCB. You join us just as qualifying begins for tonight's round 3, which is from personal on. And we have a bit of a special because number one, I'm back. Obviously, that's treat number one, right? What I'm really talking about is normally it's me and Johnny. And Johnny will be here in just a moment.
I'm
here. Also joining us, 2 of the rookies' coaches. So we can dip in and out of what the coaches do, what their involvement is, and get their opinion as well. Both of these guys have been on recent oNiD streams. So welcoming Imbo Mancy, first of all. Hello, sir.
Good evening. How are you? Hello, everyone.
Thank you. And Alex Parkin.
Evening. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. So, Johnny is here as well.
Hello.
Hello, indeed. So, the whole crew is here for I think Jimbo coined as a
No,
informer.
don't say it. Don't say it. God.
It's done. It's done. And we will be with you throughout the whole evening. It's a slightly different race format tonight. It's one 45-minute race. So testing these rookies out a little bit more over a longer format race. Qualifying is underway, as you can see. So normal thing at the start of qualifying is to ask everyone who they think will take pole overall tonight. Johnny, you're first up.
I'm going to go with Yuval Sharon tonight. I think he'll be pretty good round here. So that's my pick.
Okie doke. Jimbo.
I was going to go Sharon, but Johnny obviously got to see the practice times before before we guessed. So I'm going to go.
You are allowed to break the tradition and actually agree with Johnny. I mean, I know it's painful.
I'm going to go with Van Oostenen. I think he's got a lap in him. He just needs to hook it up. And the Bentley round here is a solid car.
Mr. Parkin. Mr. Parkin, who got every prediction right on Tuesday.
Why are we asking the rest of us? Just ask Parkin.
He's the weatherman. What's your prediction, sir?
I'm going to go for Van Oostenen as well. My Bentley brother, I guess. See if we can stick it on pole.
Leaves me with him. You know what? I'm going to do the really painful thing and I'm going to go Rivera. You know, he's there or thereabouts sort of, and it's a very attractive looking car. So I'm going to go with Rivera tonight. So we'll see how he gets on. At the moment, Johnny's right because it is Yuval Sharon at the top, the 142.667. Sablinskas is second at the moment. That's a strong pace from Silver. Because once again, for those of you new to the rookie stream, we've got 3 classes of drivers within the rookies. Pros that have the white box, the silvers that have the silver box, and the AM class drivers who have red. Johnny, what do you think we can expect overall tonight? Imola.
I think the pit stop will make it interesting. Some guys have raced with us during the World Series or in the GT4, so they've done a pit stop. They're accustomed to it, and there'll be a few drivers that are accustomed to doing pit stops. There'll be a few that have never done them before. Obviously, they have got a pit window as well of 30 minutes to contend with. You know, it's always difficult if you get an early incident and have to pit because you can't make it round to the pit window. You have to pit twice, and it's whether you go early or late as well in the pit window will make a difference. So it'd be interesting to see who gets that right and who gets it wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, just to point out that Ricardo Rivera's gone pole at the moment. Welcome. With Augustus Sablinskas driving that in the right colours. It just Stuff logo. In the right colours. So coaches, what do you do with these guys in preparation for a race week?
tend to scream and shout at them until they break and do as I say. I've found that as a managerial skill has worked for me throughout the years.
What about as a parenting skill? That serving you well?
Same.
Yeah. Okay.
Same.
Good.
Yeah. Same. Live in fear. Rule with an iron fist.
Amen, brother.
So on a serious note, before we terrify everyone into thinking that the rookies is possibly the worst thing you could ever do, we spend obviously Monday nights. We have a server with SGP that goes up for 2 hours where we go in, go over sort of like watching their laps. We go out and do some laps. We even have started doing a sort of mock-up race for the last 20-25 minutes of each practice session, so we sort of just all line up on the track, and it hasn't gone very well yet because everyone's been wiped out at some point because someone's come round the corner flat out and smashed into everyone. I think it was Alex Parkin 1 week, so that went well.
Only one, only 50% of the time.
Pulling out your fellow coach live on
Yeah.
air.
But no, just really just sort of help them out. Give them some pointers around what they can do in terms of how to take a corner. You know, it's very easy as a rookie to sort of think I need to brake as late as possible into a corner, but once you get them to start to understand that maybe sort of slow in, fast out is going to really help improve their lap times. And then we're on Discord as well, obviously all the time answering the questions, things like, you know, what should my pressures be, how much fuel should I run if there's a mandatory tyre change like there is tonight. So yeah, a bit of that. I won't say too much because Alex will have nothing to say.
Well, yeah, pretty much that. Just
Good.
giving those
Right,
little
thanks for
pointers to
your
get
input,
moving.
Yeah, thanks ever so much for having us. We'll see you later. Hope the stream goes well. We'll get back in our boxes until Monday.
Is there anything, I mean, Alex, I know, try and word this as best as I can. You probably come at this from a slightly different angle to Jimbo, right? Because not so long ago, you were AM driver yourself and have improved massively over the last year. So, you know, do you have a slightly different approach, or you know, feel that you bring something different to the coaches that somebody as quick as Jimbo does, or that you're not quick?
It definitely brings something different. I'm probably mid-pack in this field, not at the front. So I guess that's a different angle, but I don't know, just trying to help the slower guys, the new people new to the game, and try and get them, help them with the basics.
Yeah, the rookies thing, not just pace. Some of these guys are quick. I wouldn't be winning races. Definitely not with one leg. I wouldn't be winning races. But
You wouldn't be winning with two.
yeah, thank you for that. And you can spend all the money you want on a new wheel, but you wouldn't either.
But I have gotten a nice little addition to my wheel.
You have. Well, as long as Adam can hobble outside and get it done, yeah. But you know, it's not just about their overall pace. So looking at how to improve their racecraft, how safe they are on track, understanding strategy and setup a bit more. You know, it's that whole round package.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you fast over one lap, but stick it in the grass every 5 minutes or so, it's not going to work out too well in a race, I guess.
I wouldn't know. I've never done that. But Rivera is on pole at the moment, but it is close up top. Look at that, the top six, well, in fact, the top seven separated by half a second. Just 83,000 between first and second at the moment. Make that 70,000. Heidenreich has managed to sneak in between those two, go onto the front row in his Lexus. Still the best. We have Uval Sharon, though, currently on a super quick lap and is showing purple at the moment. So, looking like he could, if he manages to finish his lap all right, take that pole position with.
I'll tell you what I do like to see,
Now and then.
I'll tell you what we do like to see. It was the when the first kind of a couple of races there was a split. You had pro, you had silver, then you had the AM guys, and it's good to see, some of the silvers getting slowly quicker and quicker as the races go on, and now they're mixed in with the pro guys as well. So we're not seeing the definite split that we had before. It's now splitting up into, we're getting some silvers in the mix. Look at Janis Shatlin as well in AM. He's got quicker, and he's now up in the silvers. So that's what we want to see, and it's really good to see.
Gonna be tight across the line, by the way. He's super tight. He takes it by 7 thousandths of a
Top
second.
4.
There's my boy.
Look at
3
that.
drivers within a tenth.
That's absolutely nuts. I mean, Rivera, I think has invalidated
Just bunny
his
hopping.
lap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just you into him, he was bunny hopping the sausage curbs.
Trust me.
Top
Which is
four.
nothing to do with the 4-way, but may I add.
On that note,
Who's dressed up as a bunny?
Easter's a couple of months off yet, isn't it?
So,
I cut the nipples out of my shirt just for tonight, and you got the wrong idea.
I've got my bunny ears on.
What was that?
I've
I'm
made
just trying to-
strange noises.
I think D-Stack's in the chat saying he wants his money back because he was promised some hot 4-way action.
He
But I
spelled it
think,
the American way though. Hort.
yeah.
Only OnlyFans when?
No. But on the subject of the chat, good evening, Mr. Thunder. Good evening, Princess JT. Old Dog Juice Jackson is in there as well. Wombala, that's a great name. Parking.
Hi.
You're everywhere. D-Stack as well, like you said. But everyone ignore UES 5A7 NTI, who is just spamming you. So we'll try and get that one locked as soon as we can. Busy, good evening as well. So great to have you guys along. If you are listening to us for the first time, or even if this is your 80th time, get involved in the chat and feel free to give us much support and grief as you like.
Busy.
Hello?
Mr. Evans from Rookies.
It is.
It is, yes.
Mr. Evans, whose name I kept getting wrong tonight. I kept calling him Dan, and he's quite clearly not. Mr. Van Royen has subscribed. Thank you for that, sir. That's great to see, and evening to you as well. Love to see a subscription. And guys, there's 4 of us in, so a bit of a challenge. We need to find ourselves 5 new followers tonight, and we hit 300 followers.
Everybody start making accounts up.
I'm on it. I can only split the monitor into 2 or 3 screens, so I'll have to. I'll get the missus to make a couple of Twitch accounts so she can sign up too.
Mr. Greggles, good evening, sir. Nice to have you along, and not too bad up there in 11th at the moment. Obviously decided that that's it for qualifying for him.
Yeah, someone else
Rivera.
who has a Sablinkus as well. He's boxed, so he won't be doing any more laps.
Rivera and Ron both showing purple at the moment. Ron's a little bit further round the lap though. He's showing purple, but he's less than a 10th up. So now Heidenreich goes purple as well. Going to be close on their final laps. These 3 at the top. Let's see, Valcheron will be the first one to cross the line of all of them. I think he's improved just slightly, a 10th maybe. Yeah, so he goes with a 1:42.4. So Jimbo, you did the track guide, which is on YouTube, of course. What kind of lap time were you doing in the track guide?
I believe the track guide was a 41.8.
Oh, he's doing pretty well to be getting within 8/10 of that now. 6/10 of that.
6.
Do my maths.
So the one thing I do with the track guide is though I do leave it on the sort of standard 30-39, just purely because there's no point messing about with temperatures each time.
Yeah.
Obviously these guys have different temps, but even still you're talking a 5-degree track difference, and they're doing laps like this. That's it's impressive.
Now, Heidenreich is currently 4/10 down, so he'd have to find something pretty special last couple of corners. And not a special line, and neither was
wow,
that.
that's a different line altogether. That one.
Am I right?
Curb clumper. Somebody mute Johnny, please.
Look at that.
So there you go. Uval Sharon is on pole from Ricardo Rivera. Matthias Heidenreich. Us. And then I believe Jimbo and Parkin both went for Wilbert Van Oostenham, who's 5th. Felix Ingerden is 6th. Jotam Sharon 7th. As Shoveler is 8th. Carter. Pablo Garrido 10th. Prescott 11th. Casey Jackman 12th. Ryan Davies 8th. 15th. Gabby Samoas is 15th. Anne Hyde 6th. Steve Worrell 17th. Anaf Sabi is 15th. Adrian Boyd. Yay. Era is Joop Kuipers 2nd. Ika van der Veen 3rd. And Jovan Kovacic, aka Rolling.
Just got one request for the formation lap. Can we focus on Heike van der Veen, please?
So added pressure, he's going to screw it.
So basically, he was giving me lots of grief about finishing a formation lap, so I said we're going to watch him for the whole of the formation lap.
Indeed.
Adam, you're coming through quiet.
Maybe that button is turning itself down.
20 seconds.
How about that? Is that any better?
10 seconds.
See what our survey says.
I'm glad someone made the noise.
It was always going to be. Always going to be. I hope that was supposed to be turn up a bit more, please.
Tell you what, you've got to type that word a lot if your phone autocorrects a bit to that.
A bit is also not one word.
Well, I've done a bit more. That is all she wrote.
That's what Peter Kay does, isn't it, when he kicks the ball? A bit? Oh no, that's have it.
Have it.
Right, so that is Heike van der Veen there in the very attractive Red Bull liveried Aston Martin.
Needs a new sponsor. Needs Oracle.
Does need a bit of Oracle on there, yeah. Tell you what, that new Aston, though.
Oh yeah,
Definitely
the yellow. The yellow is. I'm so glad they got rid of the pink.
Well, it's because BWT's gone over to Alpine, so
Yeah.
they're going to get stuck with the pink now.
I don't mind the pink. It stands out at least.
It does indeed. And I've already gone to full screen before anyone mentions it. Anyone getting upset tonight? Gone full screen in time. Right, okay, so as these guys come round on their formation lap, I do want your race predictions. So winner in... so we'll do this very, very quickly. One word each. Winner in Pro, Johnny.
You batter on.
Parkin.
Rivera.
Jimbo.
I'm going to go Sharon as well. Not the other one though.
I'm going to go Rivera.
Two apiece.
Winner in silver, Johnny.
Felix Ingerden for me.
Yeah, I'm going Ingerden as well. Jimbo.
I would have gone Ingerden before qualifying, so Sablinskas, same one.
And Parkin.
Got the Adam V teeth in.
Yeah, Sablinskas for me.
And finally, Johnny.
Jana shouting.
Jimbo.
I'm going to go for Bond, A Bond.
Yeah, I'm glad you clarified which one. And Parkin.
Charlton.
I'm going to go with Heike van der Veen. The man keeps himself out of trouble. He just
It's Loris Detata is I don't know if he's what's happened there because he qualified and then did he must have dropped out because he wasn't in the original lineup, was he? He's back in the pits. Whether he's missed got to press drive.
I think that's probably what's happened. He was definitely out there earlier.
Yeah, qualified 9th overall.
Right, let's go back to the front of the pack because they're on to the start-finish straight now, and we are about to go racing. This is round 3 of the oNiD SimStuff Rookies Championship, live here on oNiD's Twitch. And in 24 hours time this will be available on our YouTube channel as well. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube as well. See, Jimbo, it's as easy as that to say don't forget to subscribe. One job.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting for the green light, and hopefully we have a nice clean T1. It's a tricky T1, 2, 3 here at well, and 4, 5 and 6 to be frank, and 7.
Green light, give it all you can.
But we are green light, we are off and going, and Chiron has made a solid start. Rivera moves straight over to the inside to tuck in for the slipstream. Let's hope that we
Bentley
have...
on the grass at the back.
So the
Let's
front
get
looks
Let's get
relatively
Tony.
clean, dropping down
They're
through the
all
pack.
Through.
Relatively clean there as well. I think, ladies and gents, Larissa Tartar is on his way, but everyone made it through safely. And the front 2 are away. Rivera has gone with Chiron, but they have already broken away from the pack this early on.
Oh,
There is
Bit of
contact.
second chicane. About 6 cars in trouble. That's not good.
Oh, there is, yes. You're absolutely right. We've got a few off. Difficult to identify exactly who. But there'll be a few guys dropping further back. Let's get back up to the front, though, because Rivera right with Chiron. Very different braking points up at the top of the hill there, and there was almost contact between the two McLarens. Uval Chiron, then down through Aqua Minerale, and now coming out up the hill. Rivera looking menacing in his rear vision mirror.
Rear vision mirror.
Rear vision. Oh, that's a new one.
Rear vision mirror, that's what it's called.
It's a rear view mirror.
Rear view mirror, that's the one. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, he's lost a foot and some brain cells.
I didn't have many of those to go around in the first place, to be fair.
He just sat there dribbling.
Yeah,
Like,
Hot kettle black, Johnny. So as we come towards the end of the first lap, it's interesting that the pack seems to have closed up a little bit on the front 2.
Simos and Hyde are coming together, sorry.
Rose and Hyde. Not like either of those two to ever get in trouble with making contact with other drivers, is it? But they are off and running again. Well, actually, Dan Hyde dropped right to the back of the field, unfortunately, as Uval Chiron goes through the first couple of corners. You might have heard we just got joined by a 5th commentator very briefly there. That was Elfie the cat.
Well, Kurt Zoomers, was it?
No, it was not. This one is Kev. But these two, I think, could go at it all night at this rate. But interestingly, like I say, that pack is not far off the back of it.
Yeah, and we saw this last week. The more these guys battle, the more the pack will start joining them. We saw it with Wilbert and Usanen last week. They was just a 2-way became a 3-way, became a 4-way. So it'll be really, really interesting to see if the sensible thing would be to kind of not battle too hard and get away from the pack and then battle later on into the race. Remember, they've got to manage their tyres as well. 45 minutes. They have got to do a mandatory tyre change, but can't push too hard early on.
So, coaches, have you talked much to these guys about strategy in terms of when in the pit window to stop? Oh, hang on. We have Matthias Heidenreich round. So let's see if we can pick up a quick replay of what happened there. I would suggest he's probably done that all by himself. Taken excess sausage. That's always bad news. About to see.
There you are.
How much is too much?
Oh, that's too much, because that sends you spinning round. And I'm pointing at my screen, you can't see me, but yes, that was excess sausage that did for Matthias there.
Very impressed there, though. Straight on the brakes. You know, didn't have any issues running back across the track or anything like that. So must be the coaches. They're good, aren't they?
Some of them are, yep. As he's straight back into a fight with Steve Worrell. But yeah, I was just about to ask you, coaches, whether you've given any advice on when to stop in the pit window, or have you really left that up to personal preference?
Alex,
Chat boys.
Yeah, I've not really offered any advice. No one's asked, so I just let them make their own choices with that one.
I think the only thing we had to remind them is that obviously with a tyre change, there's nothing to say they can't refuel, so they don't need to run with the car so heavy at the start. You know, you look at 30 seconds for a tyre change. Within that time, you can easily fuel up enough for a half and half stint in the race.
So Fraz Shoveler is currently the fastest man on track. So good lap time from him last time around, a 1:43.607. So having said that,
And that's because someone's invalidated.
Yeah, so Sharon did a 42.7 last time around, but it must have been invalidated. Shoveler's showing us having the fastest lap at the moment. Sharon is getting away a little bit now, a second clear at the front. Johnny, if you were one of these guys, how would you approach your first pit stop race?
What, one of the guys at the front?
No,
I was going to say, you best ask Jimbo about that one.
talking realistically. If you were one of any of these guys in the race, probably somewhere towards the back, then how would you approach the pit stops? Early, late, in the middle?
If it was my first one, I'd want to get it done early, get it out of the way. It's one less thing to worry about. Kind of get the tyres changed. You know, get that. You know, it's always scary when you do your first pit stop. You're not quite sure how it's going to go, if you're going to do it right. Get it done early doors, and then you can focus on sorting your pace out and getting back in the race. And also as well, if you go early doors, you know, you might be in traffic. If you're in traffic, or not in traffic, but you know, in a battle, it gives you a bit of free air to pump in some quicker laps.
Bit of a shout out for Janis Shoutin, who's just got himself up to 8th overall now. So we just spotted him sneaking past Casey Jackman, although Jackman now looking to go around the outside into Aqua Minerale. That's brave, and I think Shoutin backed out of that one. No
really good driving
two
again.
Different classes. You're absolutely right. That was good driving. It was a brave move from Jackman. Shoutin knew what was coming, but still a shout out to Anam being up in 9th place.
A little shout out to Heike van der Him as well, who works about the 3rd in class from starting on the back row. So fair play, Heike. And he didn't bin it on the formation lap, so you're doing well tonight.
He didn't, Johnny, yet. You're absolutely.
Thank you.
So Sharon has now taken the fastest lap of the race with a 1:42.5. Last time around, he was 0.8 of a second faster than Ricardo Rivera. So Ubal Sharon just starting to, I almost said completely the wrong thing then. Just starting to stretch his legs a little bit now. I'll leave you guys to figure out what I almost said by mistake.
I think I can.
Yeah,
I think I got it.
Pit windows open.
I'm completely oblivious. You'll have to.
Was
tell
it
me
something with the gap?
Oh no! The most of the words
that
were
would
still
have
the same. I almost said he's starting to spread his legs a little bit rather than stretch his legs.
Well, we are in a 4-way tonight, so.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if he carries on like this in a few laps, he won't be able to see Rivera in his rear vision mirror. So.
I'll tell you what. Last time I invite you lot. So any close battles out there that we're missing? I'll tell you what, I mean, Shoutin is just dropped a place behind Garrido, but he's still right there with them, so he's obviously going to follow that pack. It looks like behind there,
My
Prescott and
teammate.
Samoas, side by side into the chicane. That's a risky one.
Well, I think Greg's just backed out of that and didn't want to cause an incident, so he's probably done the right thing. He'll lose the position, but it's rather you keep going in the race rather than have an accident. I just noticed that my teammate for the 2.4 series, Wilbur Van Oosenden, is in quite a close battle behind Felix Ingerden.
He's indeed. Let's see which car has got the ponies down the straight.
He's got past him by the looks of it.
He has. You're absolutely right. So Van Oosenden up to 4th, Ingerden down to 5th, and that's the other Chiron of Yotam Chiron now looking like he wants a piece of Felix Ingerden as well. It's right on board for a little while. We can see what it's like at the start of this lap.
Steve Worrell early doors in the pits in his Porsche. Probably was in a little bit of a battle somewhere and he's gone early.
He had some damage as well last time we saw him. So whether he's going to try and shake that off in the pits as well. I don't know about you boys, but this McLaren looks a little bit twitchy with Yotam Chiron. He's doing well to keep his pointing in the same direction.
There's one thing I find with the McLaren when I've tried it is if you haven't got the setup just right, it's a real twitchy, nervous car. One car I am impressed with is the Merc. It's so nice to see an AMG back up at the front with Sablinskas. You know, if you were to look against comparing this to the cars in real life, the Merc is an outstanding GT3 car. So rightly it should be on the sim as well.
It's not when it's got me on board with it.
I'm not going to say anything.
No, but you're right. It's a really, really since the update, it's a really good car to drive. I've had this thing with it where I keep getting half decent results with it, but I feel like I don't feel stable in it at all. But somehow it sticks to the road and just does exactly what you want it to do. It doesn't feel like it should, but it does. So yeah, it's great to see it back up at the top of the field where it should be.
He's stuck in chat, enjoying watching this rave after his hot four-way, so he's having quite a night.
And the crazy thing, it's only the afternoon for him, so God knows what his evening's going to be like.
On a school night.
I think the funnier thing is the fact that old Mr. Evans got himself a temporary ban as a result of violating the No Johnny rule in chat. It's still my favourite Nightbot feature, that one. Princess JT agreeing with me about the new F1 Aston looking good. Looking forward to McLaren launch tomorrow. Yes, me too.
Wasn't that leaked through the Lego set? Did I?
No, it was last year's car.
Oh, right, okay.
Hold on, you thought that the new livery was leaked on a Lego set?
Oh, there was some pro footage of him building a Lego F1 car, and it was the exact same livery as last year, but everyone seems to think it was this year's.
It's a bit of an issue for Felix Ingerden. Always the other Chiron's lost it at the chicane, but Worrell's come out of his pit stop in between Van Oosten and Ingerden, and he's not in the mood to move.
So we're just going to see.
Not that he has to.
Going to see the other Chiron's spin here in just a moment. We're watching a replay on the stream, so this is not live. See Ingerden though in front of him, flashing Steve Worrell. And it was the first sausage that did for Chiron. But what a recovery that is! Just dropped the clutch, kicked it in, round he goes and carries on. I don't think he even lost a position. That was superb. Good job.
Hyde and Detata carving their way through the Anfield at the minute, trying to catch up with the back of the rest of the pro cars as well.
Yeah, Dan had a good showing here, didn't he, in the evaluation race that we did?
Yeah, he did. His evaluation races were spot on. I think he did really well here. He finished top 4 or top 5, and then he went on to win at Zandvoort as well. So Dan certainly got it in him. He just seems to get unlucky when it comes to actual league races.
I know how that feels at the moment.
How is that pit wall?
It's not even the pit wall last night. It was I got radioned.
Everyone loves being radioned.
Yeah. I was even trying to take a warning to avoid everything, and I still couldn't avoid it.
Hang on, I'm just trying to. What? Can we have a look in this drawer? Oh, I've got my violin tonight.
Maybe it's upstairs and you just can't get it.
Killed him.
Right, good. Carry on. So we've got a couple of drivers that have taken stops so far. So Steve Worrell, as the guys mentioned, Joop Kuipers, well, I think Wayne Bond has as well. So those three guys at the back, they've already stopped. Everyone else yet to take their mandatory stop. Let's hope they don't do a Willy Black and get disqualified for not doing it.
I just noticed that Pablo Garrido's team name is probably my favourite team name so far.
Race car.
Race car.
I mean, that's Johnny level simplicity right there.
Absolutely. Good work, good effort.
Casey Jackman takes to the pits in his McLaren with a sponsor that we probably can't mention due to tobacco laws, but there it is. Looks good. Still, it's better than the livery that we had to say no to this week.
Oh yeah.
They were cuddling. I don't know what you mean.
So,
I want to be the person that has that much time on their hands to create a livery like that.
I think he probably just downloaded it from somewhere.
I heard it was a Ben Brown creation.
Talking of Ben loves Pablo's livery. Is that because he did it? Did you do this one, Ben?
No, I don't think he did. But
It's nice though.
It is
It is nice.
Yeah, very nice indeed. Some of these guys have got lovely liveries, and he confirms he did not do this.
He didn't say anything about the other one though, did he?
Which one?
The one we were mentioning beforehand.
No, he hasn't denied that one. No, absolutely.
They've got. Oh, there's a battle for the last podium place in by the way. Heike van der Veen about to make a move on Kovacic.
Oh, and we just catch it as he goes up the inside at the top of the hill.
Oh, I'd
Talk
Heike.
about we talk about that livery by the way again. Was that or?
Goes up the inside.
I just can't cope with these two.
Hey, I ain't said anything. Don't drag me down with him.
You've been enough of a pain already, so.
I'm just getting warmed up.
That's what I'm worried about. I did see. Is there a close battle there with? Well, actually, look at Kovacic trying to have a go back at Heike van der Veen. No, sorry, that's Guerra, isn't it? That's Guerra. He's trying to chase down Kovacic now.
It looks like Guerra was giving him a little flash there. I don't think I could do anything wrong into the pass. So
No, that's
I
just.
don't know why he was flashing.
It's just poor coaching. They've obviously not taught them that thing.
I think Alex has got him.
Yeah. Flashing fast and often and trying to distract him.
Although there are blue flags, maybe that's what the flashing's for.
Oh! Well,
I don't think. What? Well, that was Wayne Bond going off. So actually, it was Bond that was getting the blue flags. I'm very confused right now. I mean, what's different, right? But yeah, I was confused. Hyde and Larissa Tata now right next to each other by the looks of it. So and see, there's more flashing there from a driver trying to make an overtake. Coaches need to sort this. But Ben, by the way, is asking which one. He said, "I missed you spouting rubbish, Johnny," which I think is code for "I didn't hear what you said." We have our first penalty of the night as well. Gabby Samoes picks up an SG30, and guys, this is a tricky pit lane to not get a penalty in it.
it's tricky pit lane, but also just the track in general to not get a drive-through. I'm surprised. You know, we're almost halfway into the race, and if you look at the practices with the guys here, people were having sort of like 8-9 invalidated laps in a row. So I'm impressed that they've sort of tidied it up before the race.
Was there anyone else who dipped into the practice earlier and had lots of invalidated laps?
Possibly me. I'm showing them what not to do, isn't I? Come on.
Absolutely.
It's part of the coaching.
Oh, hang on. If that's what coaching's about, why is Johnny not a coach? But yeah, we continue to watch this battle between Dan Hyde and Larissa Tata, and Larissa Tata continues to flash his lights. Yeah, this is not the British Touring Car Championship, Larissa. So if you happen to watch his stream back, naughty. But he does the old switcheroo. There is contact. There is contact. He moved across the front of Dan. Dan was there as well. So let's go see if we can catch that one back on.
Really not
the
sure what the
replay.
thought process was there.
Massive impact in the wall in the end.
So we're watching a replay here of what just happened to see if we can figure it out a little bit more. I mean, it's not our call to say what happened. I'm sure one of them or both of them will end up reporting this to the stewards and then they can take a look. But switch back and...
He's just moved on to the racing line while he's still there. He hasn't cleared the car.
Yeah, that's what Ben's just said. Don't close the door on someone that's still there. It's you know, that's he had so much room going up the hill to make sure he was clear. It's definitely not done at fault for me, but let's hope they didn't get too much damage. I'm sure.
Don't understand is the flashing of the lights when they are both in the same class. So for a second,
And when it's for
assumed that-
position as well.
yeah, that the Tata was in a different class. But even then, with well, maybe it was a poor briefing. Who knows? It's definitely not the coach.
Oh, that's brutal. Absolutely brutal.
The funny thing is, I can actually like just kick him out of this comms booth. It's great.
I mean, you could kick him out of the whole community, but
All right, we've just gone straight to 10 there. We've pipped 2,
I was
3,
just going
4,
to get rid of
5.
him out of the comms booth. Adam wants to get rid of him completely. That's a bit
Yeah.
hard.
oh dear.
Just give him a t-shirt. Give
Give
him a t-shirt.
and join your merry way.
Oh, Anna Zabi has had a moment. So let's go see what happened to Zabi. He came through turns 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit further on. I wonder if he takes As Sausage as well. Causes himself an issue. Not on the inside, but maybe that part. No. No. Oh, I'm not entirely sure what he did there. Maybe not enough TC on the go there.
Well, it looks like just seeing Thunder's been disqualified. He said he's been disqualified for speeding in the pit lane.
Ooh. That's a new one.
I didn't know you could do that.
But I suppose it is quite early on at Imola, isn't it? The pit line begins, so whether he's hit it at some speed and it's automatically disqualified, I'm not quite sure.
I know what you mean, like when you're in a live practice session and you just go in full pelt and it just boxes you straight away.
Yeah, I don't know whether maybe he's misjudged where the pit entrance line is. And
I've just watched the replays. They're 140 kilometers an hour as it hits the line, so that might do it.
Ah. Okay. So there's
The 90, just the
seems to be
90 over the recommendation.
There seems to be a point where they say enough's enough then, right?
seems to be that way. I've never done it in a race myself, but
So
So
what you're saying
unfortunate-
is if I'm following someone into the pits and I hit them hard enough, I can get them disqualified as they go over the line. Brilliant. In next week's edition of Coaching by Mancy, we'll have how to get your opponents disqualified.
Coach, why?
the only one that agreed to do it.
Two sweetest words in the English language: default.
Yeah.
So Thunder's just said, I entered a bit fast. According to the replay, supremely fast. That's a real shame. We certainly don't want to see anyone qualified from the race or anything like that. So, and unlike Thunder, it's certainly not his first rodeo tonight. Been with us for plenty of rodeo. So
Take a
whilst
look
you're
at
on-
Sablinskas and Van Oosenen.
So there's Sablinskas, Van Oosenen 1.2 down the road.
He's closed that up from about nearly 4 seconds.
The Blinskas will have to let him go if he's quicker, won't he? Because it's the class racing, so they're in
Yeah,
different
it's no
classes.
point. I think this is the point though where the class thing is difficult, because if you are third on track, technically the last podium on track, it's kind of an achievement, isn't it? If you are in the class down
Yeah, but
from the
he's
pros.
Yeah.
I think that's where the racing mind can go a little bit like, no, I need to finish third. I'm in third. You see that number 3, like up
Yeah.
in the top left-hand corner.
I think this is one of those things about sort of you just your personal discipline, isn't it? Because not so long ago I ran in the AMs and the GT4s, and there were times when I was mixing with some of the pros, but sort of let them go, because what I was seeing was, rather than seeing whatever position overall, I was seeing first in hand. And that's kind of what you want to protect. But I know exactly what you mean. You can get that blink. Careful.
It's like a red mist, isn't it? It's,
Yeah. Parking, I heard you saying, oof.
Shoveler's just picked up a 30-second stop go from 5th in the Pro class.
Ouch.
Thanks to his pit stop.
Yeah, as Sablinskas takes to the pits, it is a really tricky pit entry here, so very, very easy to pick those up. I still, like you, Jimmy, I still think we're going to see some drive-throughs later on, well, as some of these guys start to push the limits of the track.
Van Ossenen's taken overall lead by staying out, so see if he can jump a few cars at the pit stops.
Interestingly, the two leaders are both into the pits at the same time. These seem like quite long pit stops as well. Do they have to take tyres, Johnny?
Yes, they do have to take tyres. Yeah, it's mandatory stop 4 tyres.
That would be why they look like quite long pit stops then, because they're all taking tyres. So the gap doesn't really change between those two.
What that does give us, though, is the possibility of an undercut or an overcut as well, because obviously the first lap out, tyres are going to be very cold. Imola's quite a funny track, I've noticed, when bringing the tyres up to temperature. Normally, most tracks on your second flyer, your tyres should be where they're going to be, which is your optimal. But with Imola, it's like the third and the fourth lap, they still gradually go up. So
Blinskas picks up an SG30 as well.
Oh,
so
that's the lead of Silvers to Inga Heeden.
Maybe we need to teach.
No, Garrido.
He's in the pits. Inga Heeden's going to. Inga Heeden was P2 on.
Yeah, sorry, I saw Garrido green and didn't see the P. You're absolutely right. So that is a very painful one for Sablinskas. So, guys, if you're looking at it and you're talking about possibilities of overcuts, undercuts, things like that, if you were Rivera, would you have just had in mind to do the opposite of what Sharon was going to do on that? If you're thinking, right, I'm going to pit, but then you see the leader go in, and you're thinking, actually, I'm going to stay out and see if I can gain an advantage.
I think if someone's pulled 2.5, 3 seconds over me at the halfway point of a race, I know I've not got the pace to stick with them. So at that point, I'll just do whatever I feel is right, whatever I've set myself up for. Normally with the races like this, if it's dry conditions, I'll just feel for like the exact halfway point of the race. But yeah, if someone, like you were saying earlier with the whole letting someone pass because they're in a different class, your race will be less affected if someone is that much quicker than you just let them get on with their race and you get on with yours. And I think, yeah, at that point, if I was 3 seconds down, 22.5 minutes into a race, I would have accepted that whatever I'm doing, I've just not got the pace to stick with the guy.
Shout out to Shouting, who's still doing a really solid job up there in 11th. Look up the guys ahead, get to take hits and penalties and all kinds of stuff like that. He could find himself in the top 10 overall, and he's not far behind Pablo Garrido as well. So doing a really solid job tonight is Shouting.
I think, as it stands, we might see Greg Prescott maybe battling for a top 5 in silver if he comes out of the pits. He's going to come out of the pits just about now, and he's going to jump Sablinskas, who's obviously that stop go.
Quite a long pit lane in Miller as well, isn't it?
Yeah, the car that just flew past him was Ryan Davies, so yes, he's going to be one. He's going to be 5th, exactly. There, Johnny.
Twice Johnny's been right tonight.
Oh, as he goes off, and I've cursed him.
Cold eyes.
D-Stack has a question for us, apparently.
Okay. Go ahead with your question.
What's your favourite GT3 car, and why is it the Porsche?
of all the rear-engine cars, that's definitely my favourite.
I can't stand it personally.
Do you know what? I don't think I've ever driven it.
Got a point. There's something about it.
To be fair, I think I did an endurance race with Ben in it around Paul Ricard, and actually did enjoy racing it. Well, I hope he finished second in Arcs endurance. It was quite an easy car. I think Paul Ricard, there ain't that many corners, so. But
It's
yeah,
a strange car for Paul Ricciardo because the top end of the Porsche is
we were
it's
all
not the best.
we were all in Porsches.
Oh, okay. Not a strange choice then. No. I take it all back.
Was it a Porsche race by chance?
Yeah, it was a mixed class Porsche GT4, Porsche GT3 endurance race. It was quite good actually.
I think the Porsche was a solid choice.
Thanks.
So on a serious note, let's answer D-Stack's questions. So, Johnny, favourite GT? Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute.
Why have you even asked me that question?
Johnny, what's your favourite Bentley?
Bentley Continental GT 2018.
Jimbo, your favourite?
The AMG Evo.
Oh, okay. Which
If
I
you check
notice
my
you're
car
not
out-
racing at the moment.
But wait until you see what I'm in for the Enduros.
What about you, Parkin?
I think it might be the Ferrari Evo, but it's a lot slower on this patch, so yeah, probably I'll stick with the Ferrari.
If we're going favourite GT car in general, as in GT3, GTEs, I'd have to go Corvette, I think.
Yeah. Actually, when we got to run that in the AC league that time, that was an absolute weapon.
Yeah, the new CR8 is just lovely, absolutely lovely. They just look nice. Yeah, and yeah, we did it in AC, and I think that was a CR7 I was using, which was absolutely great fun. They are nice cars.
Ben says the NSX.
Ben's wrong.
D-Stack says America.
It's the NSX is the one car that I can't. Normally, with every car you drive, there's something you like about it. It might not be the best car, it might not be your car of choice, but there'll be something that you enjoy about it. And with the NSX,
Looks?
I don't know. I just can't find.
That is looks. He's a looker.
It's the best. It's one of the best looking, that's for sure. It's also the most expensive, I think, as well, isn't it?
Prescott in the gravel, by the way. That's and 1 and 2. So let's just pick up a replay of that. But yeah, I think I read that as well, that it is the most expensive. But I think that might be something to do with the fact that it's manufactured in Japan rather than in Europe.
So D-Stack had a follow-up question actually that Ben answered. So, which car would you choose?
Sorry, we're just looking at Greg dropping it on La Sausage. Way too much sausage. So what was his follow-up question?
Follow-up question was, which car would you choose to drive if the pace of all cars were identical? I think if they're all identical and on looks, it would have to be the NSX. I agree with Ben.
Kind of like the Aston Martins.
Yeah.
I think they're nice cars.
If you go on noise, you'd have to go V12, wouldn't you?
Also true.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Mind you, that's the one thing I do like about the AMG Evo is the noise. It sounds like a Spitfire. So it's and it's the better version of the engine over the Aston Martin. Because I don't know what the Aston Martin engineers did to it, but they decided to take all the torque out of the car.
The thing is, I really want to enjoy driving the McLaren, but I've never been able to get to grips with either the GT3 or the GT4 one. But I want to like it. You know, McLaren F1 fan. Love to love the McLaren in GT, but if they were all equal, definitely. Good. Well, that one went down well.
Stunned silence.
Tumbleweeds rolling.
No, I do understand what D-Stack's saying about the Porsche. There is just something about it. It's like, I think it's because the car is a challenge that you want to feel as though you can master it. And
There's a lot of Porsche fanboys out there.
yeah, but it is the only car that you can really notice that acceleration out of the corners in. Just the noise that it makes alone. But it feels quick on acceleration, whereas you compare it to your Aston Martins or maybe something like the Bentley. Yeah, the Porsche is just, there is, I totally get that statement, is why does nearly everyone like the Porsche so much, even though they don't drive it, or they can't.
I really need to try it more. I think I probably drove it a few times when I first started playing the game, but never really touched it since.
You used to drive the Ferrari a lot, didn't you?
Yeah, like I say, on patch 1.8 it became very understeerious, that's why I gave the Bentley a try. But Ferrari
The Ferrari that you were upside down in at Zandvoort as you crossed the line.
No further questions.
Okay.
Dog Juice has just chucked in the chat forbidden
But yes.
mistress. I don't know whether he's referring to one of the cars or
what he's up to this evening.
Wrong chat. Wrong chat. We're about to be donated £50.
You know, hush money out, DJ.
Yeah.
Him and D-Stack's having a night. Bloody hell.
Maybe it's
But this
together.
says every car is a
Oh,
challenge.
someone's in the wall.
that'll be
14.
Steve Worrell, is it?
Well, yeah.
Or a yellow flag. Let's see if we can pick that up.
Oh,
Oh,
on the
dear.
replay.
That's a lot of damage.
So we're watching the replay now live on stream. This is Steve Worrell coming down to turn 1.
Dog Deuce did get the wrong chat.
So where's he going to do this?
He's coming out of here.
Oh, he slapped the tank. The big old
Yeah,
tank slapper.
what he's done there is he's heard us talk about the Porsche and he's given us a prime example of why we don't drive it, because it just snaps constantly.
The last when he binned it in race 1 at Brands Hatch, I had a chat with him afterwards and said, "What happened? Because you were doing so well." He was actually leading Silver Class at the time, and his missus came in to where he was racing, and he didn't actually know she was there, and it made him jump out of his skin, and he put it in a wall. So I hope that's not the case this evening.
I've just seen Van Oosenen, I think, maybe struggling to get past the back marker, and he's now got Ingerden right on the back of him. Now, maybe Ingerden won't go for a move here because they're running in different classes, but it is for 3rd overall. So if we go with the Jimbo Mansi logic, which always sounds like a really stupid thing
Not a
to do,
sentence that you would ever put together.
No, absolutely. But if
We've
we
also
do,
got, sorry,
we might think
Heidenreich
about it.
and Sharon having a good old battle behind them. They're swapping places.
You're absolutely right. So Heidenreich has just dropped behind Charons. This is Yotam Charon, the second of the Charons, who I think we confirmed are brothers.
I hope so.
Otherwise, it's a bit of a coincidence. But literally, first time I loaded into the server to do rookies commentary, and I saw why Sharon in a McLaren and why Sharon in a McLaren. I was like, oh no, seriously. And now I notice we've got 2 Bonds as well, but oh, and they're both in BMWs, but at least they've got different first names. As Heidenreich gets alongside Yotam Sharon now, this is going to be brave, but actually has
should
plenty
carry him
of
down.
speed.
You've also got, Sablinskas pitting for pretty significant damage after he span it at the tight chicane.
Going for
Shame.
Sablinskas,
So his race
good
is
night has
gone.
turned bad for him.
Pole in silver to
But
possible
not.
DNF. Or that, yeah.
Heidenreich did get the move done down the hill.
Going back to Felix Ingerden, he probably doesn't need to battle Van Oosenen because I think there's a fair gap back to second in silver of Garrido.
Gabby Samoa's is round. We're seeing that live. We're going to go catch a replay now, see what happened to Gabby. Has he done it by himself, or is Dan Hyde involved? Because Dan's super close to him. I think he's going to do that by himself on, yep, Muchos de Sausage, and that is big damage.
Everything's
no.
to life.
I didn't know you could speak French, Adam. this. Honestly.
Oh man, Hiker was having a decent race and his games crashed.
Oh. Oh, first drive through.
Oh,
Dan Hyde.
And Hyde.
Oh.
Dan Hyde gets himself a Dave. Is a drive
Oh,
through.
and he's just not bothering with the chicane now as well.
He's now like, right, I've got one drive through. Let's see how many more I can get. As he just absolutely launches it over the chicane.
I think Shelton, P8 overall as an AM is
Is incredible considering he was one of them people that chose the wrong car, didn't change it in time for the first race. He'd done all the practice before the first race in a different car. You know, got given the BMW and has really taken to it. He's got better and better over the 3 races so far. So
he
it's
needs
really
to send you a thank you present, doesn't he, for putting him in the wrong car?
he does, or a button box from Sim Stuff. I think he needs to.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Sim-stuff.com is the website for if you should need it.
Those DQs have opened up a nice podium opportunity for either Guerrero or Kuipers, who are currently battling quite well on track. At the back of, at third and fourth in AM.
We see Yotam Sharon just getting it a little bit wrong, and that rhymed, and I didn't mean it. But as he was trying to get even
where the
closer
rest
to,
didn't.
as he got closer to Matthias Heidenreich, but shut up, you can go away. Garrido has dropped behind Shoutin now, so Shoutin is up to 7th overall. I don't know whether that was a move or whether Garrido made a mistake. There was a bit of a gap between them, but that's Shoutin up to 7th now. Really solid drive from him. Dan Hyde decided not to take his drive through last time. Hope he doesn't forget.
If I time out Hiker from the chat, how long does it time him out for?
He's asked how his formation lap was. All I can say is it was better than your race.
It was also better than Johnny's formation lap at Kyalami, so there you go.
I think Kuiper's about to make a move on Guerrero for that third place. He had a bad last corner, Guerrero. He's got the run down the straight.
There's still 7/10 between them, so that Aston would have to find an extra few litres, I think, to catch him down this straight, but he is closer.
Ooh, he's missed his braking point slightly into 1, and he's taken the Lewis Hamilton line through 2.
That with or without the Verstappen assist?
Without, for once.
I've noticed as well, Rivera's slowly pulling in Yuval Sharon as well. A few tenths here and there, so they're getting a little bit closer.
Inga Heden's accepted that there's no point racing Van Oosten on track, and he can take a comfortable P1 here.
Just gone to Garrido, Jackman and Davis, and they had a real close incident trying to pass traffic.
Oh no, what's happened with Shoutin? Shoutin's had an issue. See if we can pick it up on replay.
I think he was the traffic they were trying to get past.
He's coming up on a damaged car.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get past traffic by the looks of it. That's Guerra, isn't it? The Shoutin getting up the inside of Guerra. That's
I mean, that actually wasn't so bad.
Could have ended a lot worse.
You know what? In fairness to him, he's gone, this isn't going to end well, so I'm going to back out of it, even if it means me losing a couple of positions.
And stopping in the middle of the track to let everyone around him.
Maybe it wasn't ideal, but I think I'd still prefer that than him just rooting it into the side of the back marker.
Absolutely. No, he's done really, really well. And as you say, in a car that he didn't want to be in. That's a lot of people would probably just step back from the championship at that point.
Dan Hyde disqualified, didn't take his drive through.
Oh, so when I jokingly said that let's hope that Dan doesn't get disqualified for not taking his drive through, Uval Sharon has just pumped in the fastest lap of the race, by the way, a 1:42.4.
Yeah, he's pulled that gap back out now from Rivera.
It's quicker than quali.
And he's
Or
also
bang on quali pace.
He's also on course to prove me right once again.
We've also got a yellow flag for some reason, but
I can smell the smugness from that. That's
and it's Johnny Smugness, so it don't
He's,
smell
he's
good.
literally he's sat back and he's stretched his arms up and he's gone. Oh, look at me, I'm Mr. Right.
I don't get to do it very often.
So, Alex, you were asking about the yellow flag. It seems to be out for Dan Hyde being disqualified. That also rhymed. But I don't understand that
God's
one.
sake.
I assume that one's gonna run out after a while. We see Sablinski's back in the pits.
Well,
I
I
think
thought
Sablinskas has retired the car.
I think the patch was supposed to fix the yellow flag in the pit lane issue. It obviously hasn't done it very well.
Well, it hasn't. Leaders on final lap, by the way. There he is starting it. This 45 minutes has absolutely flown by.
Yeah, it's been some really, really good racing.
Well, in general, you watch these races, and if we didn't call it the Rookies Championship, you would have no clue that this was a Rookies Championship. So kudos to the coaches and kudos to the drivers involved in it, because they're producing a really high standard here. So, brilliant to watch.
But yeah, just look at that train from Garrido in 7th back to Davis in 10th. That's pretty good going for 45 minutes racing to still be that close.
Yeah, and all of this is pretty close. So I think we've got some back markers mixed in there as well. Shouting, trying to get himself past Casey Jackman. They're trying to do the old Hakkinen, Schumacher, Ricardo Zonta move here and going either side of the back marker. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Let's see what comes of it. Oh, Shouting gets past the back marker, as does Casey Jackman. But no change of position there. Jackman did look a little bit out of shape coming out of T1. Unless there's a big error, we're not going to see any change right at the very front. Yuval Sharon doing a really solid job up there. Lights the flag victory. Altin's going for it.
The leader has finished the race.
So there we go. Uval Sharon does take your win. Ricardo Rivera crosses the line in 2nd. Let's go back to that Jackman and Shouting battle. Jackman runs wide.
Oh dear.
Shouting is
Shelton did.
also
Followed
through.
him.
No one bothered to make the corner that time.
They must have had track warnings left.
You've got that last rookie podium spot going right down to the line as Kuipers has got a run on Guerrero out the last corner.
He takes the win in silver.
Does indeed. Look at
Is he
how
gonna-
close that one is to the line. Who's going to get that one? I think the BMW will just hold it. He does by 74 thousandths of a second across the line. He's tight. So who is yet to finish? Here comes Pablo Garrido. There seems to be some smoke in the background. I think that's kind of firework. Garrido across the line. And Shouting. So big shout for Shouting tonight. 8th overall. Casey Jackman, then Ryan Davies. Greg Prescott comes home in 5th in class. Good job for Greg. 7th overall. Couple left to finish. Larissa Tata in 12th overall. Comes the McLaren over the line. Adrian Bond as well. 13th overall. It's just Sabinskas yet to finish, but he in the pits, so he's not going to finish. So that, chaps, game over.
Great race. Good race. Good win for Sharon as well. He looked pretty in control once he'd gapped Rivera. He seemed pretty in control of all of that. So, no, really well done to that. And good lad, Yana Shatlin, or Shouting, up in 8th. Has a great AM win. So he'll be really pleased with that.
He will be really pleased with that. You're absolutely right. As Johnny temporarily moves to Birmingham.
I couldn't do that. I'll be closer to you.
I don't think you would actually.
It's closer than Northampton, isn't it?
Maybe just. Anyway, that's not really the point. I was going to ask you guys a question for driver of the day for each of you, and then we'll take a consensus from that. So, Johnny?
You've Asher on. I've had him, picked him 3 times and got 3 results, so, yeah.
Stuff. Jimbo?
I'm going to go for Shelton. I think just a brilliant drive, and mixing it with, you know, some silvers and pro drivers as well. And not just mixing it, but a little bit of wheel to wheel with him as well. But it was all good. It was all clean. So yeah, he's my driver of the day.
Alex?
Yeah, I'm going to copy Jimbo on that one. It never really popped up with any amazing moves. It was just solid, good pace, and behaved in traffic, and he picked up a great 8th place overall.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would have gone with Shouting as well, but seeing as 2 of you have, that means he is going to be our driver of the day. But my shout also would be Felix Ingerden. Really strong performance, 4th overall. Kept himself out of trouble and takes the win in silver, so a good night for him as well.
That's his 2nd win of the season, 3rd win, 2nd.
So, guys, I'm going to leave you because I've got to go and do debrief for the lads, and the coaches have got to come with me. So, Adam, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wish I
Thank
could
you,
say
guys.
the same.
Yeah, you're not allowed back.
It's been tolerable, guys.
It's been tolerable.
Thanks. See you later.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. So for those of you still watching the stream, we will be back with more action on Sunday night for the World Series, then Tuesday night with the GT4s, and back again Thursday night next week with yet more rookies. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of the stream and getting involved on the chat. If you're not with us already, come join us at onidracing.com and